Onyango. I'm a member of the Distributed Ledger and Artificial Intelligence Task Force, the first task force that was put together by an African government to look into the emerging technologies. But beyond that, I am also the ambassador for what I call Africa's Forgotten Bottom Millions. And every single week, we reach out to about 30 to 50,000 people on social media. And what we do is that we share fully funded opportunities locally and from around the world so that people can have access to fully funded either bachelor's, master's, PhD, or even short training workshops, so that as a country and as a continent, we're not left behind within the emerging technology space. As most of you may know or may not know, 77% of Africa's population is actually under the age of 35. And in that respect, I'd like to know how many of you in this room are under 35? Good, not doing too badly, great. So I'm happy that we have you here because you need to listen out to what I'm going to say today. So just a little bit about AI, and I want to break it down in very simple manners so that we can all, for those who are not really techies, you can understand just what it is that AI is and how it is that you're already using it around your life. So your phones, at times you may have searched for, to buy a TV, either on Jumia or on Amazon. And then for the next couple of days, you see all these TV ads popping up and coming in to you. And you're wondering, oh, what's going on? Well, that is AI there. For those of you who are a bit more tech savvy and who've got, your phones either on Siri or at home you've got Alexa, a lot of you are now engaging, and some of you, because you're so lonely, you actually speak to Siri and you ask Siri, how are you today? So again, that is AI within your lives. And then for the younger ones, gaming, which is really, really huge. If you play FIFA or if you play on your CPU games like Gran Turismo, then that is AI right there at play. So now let's get a bit more specific also in the field of music and entertainment. Spotify. Anybody here uses Spotify? Okay, great. So there you go. Okay, so Spotify actually uses AI and machine learning, and if you notice, it'll always suggest other things you can put on your playlist. So again, that is AI at play right there. It is interesting. There's a song called "Not Easy" by the Ambassadors, and this was actually as a result of AI. So what happened is through AI, it searched through millions of conversations, and using the main theme of heartbreak, and after going through dozens and tons of machine algorithms, it actually came up and found the right track, the right artist, and went ahead and that song was produced. So again, there is AI being very disruptive in our lives. Facebook, which I think is more common to a lot of people here. So Facebook, yes. So I think we also need to speak about the other side of Facebook. And a lot of people say that AI is probably responsible for the current occupant of the White House in many ways. Yes, so again, that is another aspect of AI, which is now being looked at very, very critically. But at the same time, the same agencies, Facebook have also used AI to be able to study and to find out, and they can actually tell when people are depressed, people who are suicidal, and they're able to catch that out. So there's some good things from both sides of that. But ladies and gentlemen, I think what I want to say is that why is it that, what is it and why do we need AI? And for me, I really want to bring it home today. So just a bit of background. For the last week or so, I've been going back and forth with my good friend Rudvik here, and I had 4 topics that kept changing and kept changing. So yesterday, because of a conversation I had over lunch with some of you in this room, and I was actually painting the picture of Kenya as a country, the people I spoke with over lunch were totally and absolutely shocked at what I said. And I said, you know what, I was going to speak about that, but I decided not to. They said, no, you must share and you must speak about that. And that's what's going to form what I'm going to talk about today. So I wanted to take stock of who we are as a country and Kenya, because I think it's important when we want to speak about emerging technologies, AI, and the rest. As a people in a country, I want us to be very open and honest with ourselves. We have lost our shine and place in the region and on the continent at large. This has happened progressively over the last 10 years, and we're now playing catch-up to in the emerging technology space. So, first of all, everybody in this room that is Kenyan, please do me a favor. Let's stop flogging M-Pesa and talking about it. It is so 9/11. It happened and the ship sailed. It did. And if we're going to continue flogging it, and that's the thing that we bring to every single discussion, that is the reason why everybody else has moved on and we're still where we are about 10 years back. So let us look at who's doing what in the region, and let us start off from government, and let's start off from e-government. And specifically, I want to mention the 6 best countries in Africa in e-government. And I'll start off with, of course, a lot of you may not be surprised, at least I wasn't. It is Mauritius, which is ranked globally at 66, South Africa at 68, Tunisia at 80, Seychelles at 83, Ghana at 101, Morocco at 100, and Kenya ranks a poor 149 out of 189. So those are the facts. And I'm glad that here today we're sitting with people who look at data and analyze statistics and go by numbers and facts, because that's what this is going to be about: facts, data, statistics. Then again, with respect to the e-government development index, that's EGDI, again, amongst African countries, at least 12 of them, and I'll mention them: Benin, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Congo, Cote d'Ivoire, Democratic Republic of Congo, Gambia, Liberia, Madagascar, Malawi, Mozambique, and Sierra Leone, have transitioned from the low to medium. Ghana is the only country that has transitioned from medium to high. So, to help carry and anchor this conversation, I have picked 3 African countries that I want to divulge and speak specifically about them, because I consider them to be outliers in the space, and there's many things that if we do not recognize and we're not cognizant of, we're going to continue lagging behind. So out of the 3 countries that I've picked, the first one is Rwanda. Rwanda has moved quickly, adopting and deploying drones to deliver efficient and effective health services. The country's GDP's growth is at an average of 8% per annum. That was between 2001 and 2015. And child mortality dropped by 2/3. And this has been enhanced because of the various deployed emerging technologies that they have used. The economy of Rwanda is projected to grow by 7.2% and 7.8% in the financial year 2018-2019 and 2019-2020 respectively. Rwanda is also deploying a satellite to ensure that all rural areas have access to internet connectivity. You cannot speak about a digital economy, a digital agenda, without digital infrastructure in place. That is the basis of where you start. You don't start off from policies, because those are the guardrails. You must have the road first, then you put up the guardrails, which protects the users on the road. Rwanda has also set up a public coding school, and they started off with 60 young, bright students already selected across the country to join the first cohort of the inaugural software programming school. At the coding school, students will pursue a 3-year course. In those 3 years, the students will be sent abroad for 6 months, training in some of the leading IT colleges and top tech companies as they share knowledge and experience with their peers and experts. The next country I want to go to is Ethiopia, north of us. So Ethiopia's economic outlook for Africa has been forecast by IMF to grow by 8.5% in this fiscal year that ends in July 2019. As most of you may know, Ethiopia has the fastest growing economy in the world. So the report says that Ethiopia will continue to be the fastest growing economy, followed by Rwanda by 7.8%, and Senegal 6.7%. Ethiopia has been very clear and very keen in adopting and implementing various policies and strategies such as science, technology, and innovation. And they have what they call the STI policy, among others, aimed at alleviating poverty and joining middle-level income countries as expressed in the second growth and transformation plan that they're calling the GTP2. So I'm going to go into some very specific things that Ethiopia is actually doing. So Ethiopia has what they're calling their Ethiopian Biotechnology Institute, which is a national institute that works to address the establishment of national innovation system through conducting research, studies, providing trainings and initiatives in various fields like, note, agriculture, health, industry, environment, bioinformative, genetic biotechnologies, nanotechnology, material science, reverse engineering, and so on. But this is what the Institute has done, okay, beyond having a policy. They have raised an awareness program to 2,000 public and private secondary school students on bio and also emerging technologies. And at the same time, within the 40 public universities, Ethiopia has also created and equipped several technical institutions. Ethiopia is clear that there will not be the country that is looked at as a place that offers highly educated, cheap labor. So in order to do that, they've also ensured that they're improving their power supply, transport, and other infrastructure. While we were still celebrating our thicker super highway, Ethiopia was doing highways into the interior. That's who we are. Ethiopia has also built the first light rail system in East Africa and now is leveraging the technology transfer to build a rail network throughout the country and possibly into the neighboring countries. In contrast, we have left it to China to build our SGR and to stay on to provide maintenance services. We have to be truthful and we need to be honest with ourselves, otherwise we're not moving. A little bit about Ethiopia. So the Africa Economic Commission for Africa Experts meeting, which happened a couple of months ago, Ethiopia decided that there are 1 million students, of which 80% were in the arts, needed to have a flip around. And therefore, through their cooperation with Germany, today, now more than 80% of the students are into science and technology, and they currently have 400 German educationists transplanting the system into Ethiopia. In addition to the more than 40 public universities, Ethiopia has also created and equipped several technical institutions. What are we doing as Kenya? And what have we done? Ask yourselves and answer yourselves. Finally, Sierra Leone, some nondescript country beyond, war-ravished, or so we thought. President Julius Maada Bio appointed Moinina David Senghor as his Chief Innovation Officer last year in May 2018. Why is this significant? Senghor is a 31-year-old graduate from Harvard with a Bachelor of Science in Engineering. He also has a Master of Science in Media Arts and a Doctor of Philosophy in Biomedical and Medical Engineering, both from MIT. Senghor was named in 2014 edition of Forbes, the 30 under 30, top 30 under 30 of people in technology. As a 26-year-old, he designed the perfect fit for prosthetic sockets for people back in his home country in Senegal. The appointment is markedly different in that it operates within the office of the president, unlike other continents, where we are locked into traditional governance structures and slow-moving bureaucracy of government ministries. The directorate facilitates and supports a vibrant national innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem for both public and private sectors. So 2 weeks ago, Senegal took the president of Sierra Leone with him to Harvard. And the reason why they went to Harvard is that the president went to personally create and meet people within the tech in academia and form partnerships for his country. Loads and loads of trips are made by public servants in this country. What has come back? Finally, out of the many trips that I've made, there's one city that always sticks with me. Tallinn. Does anybody know where Tallinn is? Okay, so great. Okay, yes. So for the locals, Skype, anybody uses Skype or knows Skype? So Skype is actually an Estonian invention. And I love Estonia, and these are the reasons why. So let me tell you a little bit about Estonia. Estonia, 1.3 million people, 4 million hectares, half of which is forest. But through digitizing the government, 2% of the GDP, they've saved 2% of the GDP in salaries, and that 2% that they've saved is what they pay NATO to protect them against Russia. I like Estonia because it's very similar to us in many ways. But this is what I like about Estonia. So there's currently 550 startups in Estonia, and 20 of the startups are responsible for 62% of the new jobs that were created in 2018. So my point being is that there is light at the end of the tunnel. But let me put it this way. For Kenya, we must rethink and rechange our strategy in terms of who we're engaging with absolutely no disrespect to our good friends from the West. When it comes to emerging technologies, unfortunately, you're the fat lady on the dancing floor. And the light-feeted Chinese are actually moving quicker and faster. I think we also need to be fair and honest. The fight on the matter of 5G is because while the West slept, Huawei ran ahead. So we need to rethink what it is that we're doing within our core creation hubs that are here. We need to look at the whole process of emerging technologies, and we need to find out what is it that we want to do well. We can't do everything, and we'll never be able to do everything. But as a people and as a country, and for the core creation hubs that are here, we must start to rethink and relook back. What is it that we want to occupy? Which is the space that we want, and what are we going to do? And as we realize, as we still sit here and diddly-daddle and wonder what to do next, the rest of Africa has actually woken up and is running. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Kenyans in this room, It is time for us to take charge of our destiny. I am happy, and I can say that there's a lot of private sector players that are doing quite a number of things that you should probably partner with and use. I do know that yesterday the Kenya Space Agency was actually launched. A lot of you may not know that. Kenya Space Agency will be responsible for national data and a whole lot of integration and satellite stuff. So there's a whole lot of data that's there. The issue that's in Turkana that we're now facing today, we knew about that. There is more than enough open data resources online. And for anybody who is looking to do anything new within the field of data, there's the Africa Media Hub at Strathmore University. Rosemary Okello heads that. She's working with the Kenya Space Agency. She's also working with Thunderbird University from Arizona State University. There's a lot of people in the playing field that are doing things away from what may seem to be a situation that is dire. But we like it or we don't, with or without us, AI, emerging technologies, and the rest of Africa is moving ahead. Thank you.